27th, the last Tuesday in August. You guys, it's almost September, which is basically fall, which is basically the end of the year. It's basically 2020 already. That's how I feel right now. Kind of, but not really. It's crazy how much time flies. And I know that like we all probably say that about different things. But thinking back to where were you in January? Like if you were a coach in January, I know some of you weren't coaches at that time, but if you were, like, where were you and what vision did you set for yourself? And give yourself a reality check. Have you showed up the way that you said you want to show up? Have you done the things that you said you wanted to do or that you wanted to learn about or you wanted to grow into? If you haven't, don't beat yourself up about it. But as I said, give yourself a reality check and figure out, what maybe you need to do moving forward in order to level up, basically. If you set higher standards for yourself at the beginning of this year and you have failed to do that, the year's not over. And it's not like we even need to measure in terms of even the month. Go by the week. Like, what did you say you were going to do last week? Did you do it? Okay. Did you not? That's fine. Move forward. What are you going to do better this time? So going into tonight's topic, talking about loving the process, learning to love the process, because it is something that you might have to learn if you are not in that space currently. But that's a really cool thing, knowing that you can learn how to enjoy and love the process. And, I'm really relating it to coaching, but it can also be applied to our health and fitness journey as well. And I'll kind of touch on that just a little bit because obviously that's a big, important part of our business is our own journey. But there's a couple things. I know that not everybody has their camera on, but those of you that do, I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. And I want you to just like raise your hand. Sorry, I'm making sure we got everybody muted. Just raise your hand if this applies to you. Okay, if Beachbody, if Carl Daikeler, the CEO, I know we've got, number one, there's a couple new coaches on here tonight. I'm so excited to see them here. Hi, guys. But Carl Daikeler, he's the CEO of Beachbody. If he called you and said, hey, so you haven't put in the work that it takes to be a full-time coach, but I just think you're really awesome. And I would just love to appoint you to, top 10 coach and just give you everything that you need on a silver platter. You get to be a full-time coach. You're welcome. Raise your hand if you would accept that. Like if you could just be a full-time coach, you didn't have to put in the work. It was like, you just wake up tomorrow and you're a full-time coach. Full-time income. You've got a team of boss babes under you. You've got your systems down. Like, what's going on. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure most people would raise their hands. Yeah. Okay. That's not going to happen. We know that. It's not going to happen. It can't. Nothing in life that is worthwhile, that is worth having, that is sustainable is going to just happen or come out of thin air. Okay. And you guys know that. You are all smart people. Yes. So that's why it is important for us to learn how to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey and fall in love with the journey itself instead of getting so fixated on the end result and just obsessing over that. Because think about sometimes the comparison that people make with our fitness journey. They're like, or some people share an example, well, I thought that once I had 6-pack abs, I would be happy. But once I got there, I wasn't. Like that one thing that we think is going to make everything all better, we get there. And if we didn't like grow as a human or become a better person, it doesn't actually solve what we thought it was. I need to break it to you. And this is something that I've had to come to a realization with myself. Say you did wake up tomorrow and you're a full-time coach, you're, top 10, whatever. If you didn't put in the work to get there, you're still going to have a hard time with the actions that it actually does take to work to get to top 10. Like just because you're top 10 or elite or 5-star or 2-star or diamond or whatever it is, doesn't mean that all of a sudden inviting is easier and that sharing your journey is any less scary. like you're still going to be a human being with feelings and emotions, even when you're a higher rank or whatever. Yeah. So that's why you just have to embrace the fact that some of it is going to be a challenge, you guys. That's part of what coaching is. And that might scare some people away. Like, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. And even when you do start to get a grasp for what you're doing in the business, you're still going to be constantly learning and making mistakes and, feeling like you're letting people down and you're not being good enough if you don't work on what's going on up here along the way. All right. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that no matter where you are in the business, you're still a human. You have a right to have emotions. You have a right to be scared, to be worried about what others think, because that's what makes us human beings. But you can learn to overcome that and enjoy the challenge, embrace the challenge as you go. That's what I kind of want our team to mold into. Women that chase the uncomfortable, that chase the challenge, that chase the hard shit. Because guess what? There's a lot of people that won't do that. And not that, it's like it makes us better than anybody else, but it's going to make us feel really freaking proud, when we're able to say like, hey, I did that hard stuff. I see Alyssa's got her little in there, so I'm like trying not to cuss. This is preparing me for parenting, right? Okay, so learning to embrace the process and know that it is going to be a challenge, okay? And here's another question that I have for you guys that I want you to raise your hands on if you're not driving, right? Okay, think back to like maybe you applied to college and you got in to where you were wanting to go to school, or you applied for a job that you were really wanting. Raise your hand if you felt really, really excited on that day. You were like, yes, I did it. I got in. I got what I wanted. Okay, pretty much everybody. Yeah, cool. Once that excitement wore off, did you find yourself, whether it's in school or at the job, having some hard days, questioning if it was worth it, questioning if you were cut out for it? Yeah, I see some head nods. Yeah, because guess what? Outside of coaching, whether you're in college or, you're taking classes online or you're at another job, you have days where you really love what you do and you feel really good and you feel like you're on the right path. And then you have days and sometimes weeks where you're questioning everything. Okay? So if you ever get to a point in your coaching business, if you haven't already, I promise you, you will get there where you're like, why did I sign up for this? Am I really cut out for this? Who do I think I am? Like, all these limiting beliefs and negative thoughts are going to pop up because you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and you don't know what's on the other side. But for some reason, coaching is one of the first things that people will drop because, it's your own business. There's nobody really there like counting on you. If you say like when I got into school, online college, I was so pumped because at that time, that is really what I wanted. I did not want to go to school like on a campus. I wanted online, all that good stuff. And then I can't tell you how many nights I spent crying at my laptop because I couldn't figure out how to teach myself something. And I was like, why did I do this? But I knew, or I thought back to that initial, first day or first month when I was like, I know that this is what will make me happier in the long run compared to the other thing, right? So you always have to kind of think back with coaching. Why did you start? Why did you say yes to this? What was it? What kind of vision did you have? And maybe it's something small. Like maybe it's not to be a full-time coach. That wasn't my vision when I first started. But I think back to how when I had joined a boot camp, I had fallen in love with the community. Like I was never a fit person. And when I was trying to lose weight, I mean, literally from the first years of high school, like that's how long, or, early on I started struggling with my weight. Like nothing worked. I didn't stick with it. I didn't have support. So when I found community, I fell in love. And when I started having people asking me what I was doing, that fueled me. That got me excited. And all I wanted to do was just run groups for people. I had no idea this was a business opportunity. And so on the days when I sit here and I'm like, I've got so much to do, or I don't know how to tackle this, and I don't know how to get this organized, I have to take a deep breath and be like, okay, Lauren, what do you love about this business? And like for me, like I said, it's running boot camps. You always need to sit down and remind yourself of why you started. And I know that's kind of cliche, you know, remind yourself why you started, where you came from, but it is the truth, you guys. Because again, you take coaching out of the equation, maybe it's nursing school. Like props to all people out there that go to nursing school. That stuff sounds insane. Like, you know, you get in and it's like, you know, a dream come true that you got into nursing school, because that's not an easy feat. And then a couple months in, you're like pulling your hair out and crying at 3 a.m. while drinking Red Bull, questioning if this is even going to work out. But you know that when you just show up every single day and you give your best effort, even when it's messy, even when you fail some quizzes and you're late to class and, you know, you haven't showered in days because you've been studying so much, you know that as long as you keep showing up, there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. And throwing in the towel will only make you regret it later. It'll probably put more stress on your life, you know? And so nursing school or coaching or anything else, it's the same way, okay? So that's the thing with coaching. I know that they say that anybody can be a coach, and that is true. But a lot of people will not stick it out. And I want that to be different for you guys, because you always think back to what it is that fuels you, what it is that made you say yes to this, to your upline coach, to this team, whatever, and why you want to be here a year from now, whether that's as a full-time coach, part-time coach, wherever, okay? So talking more on what you love about coaching and what you love about social media, like how can we actually learn to love the process, to love what we do? And, you know, we can break it down into kind of some different subtopics, like posting on social media, for instance. I love Instagram. I love it. I love getting on my stories. I love creating content. I love creating graphics. I love doing videos. I love doing stuff like this. Granted, that wasn't me in the beginning. You know, I've grown into this person, but I love that stuff. And so I make a point to do that every single day because I enjoy it. That's how I get better about it. That's how I get my tribe to trust me. That's how I get consistent with it. And, you know, I want you guys to focus more on the things outside of coaching that you love and how can you intertwine that? Like if you love doing your makeup, do freaking makeup tutorials. If you love baking, like share a weekly baking recipe. I don't want you to get so fixated on boot camp, coaching, meal plan, workout. Because like if that's not your entire life, then yeah, you're not going to enjoy posting on social media. So figure out how you can take the other parts of your life that you are passionate about, that fuels your fire, that you like get excited about, and share that on social media. Because you guys, it's called social media. You need to share who you are, and you're going to be able to be social with the people that have the same interests as you. That is the biggest thing about coaching. You don't just want to be meal plans and workouts. You want to be you. And that's going to make it just so much more effortless to share on Instagram. Because I know a lot of times we can get worked up. I'm like, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to do this. I'm like, no, try not to overthink it. And I know that can be easier said than done, but it's just here, Instagram. I want you guys to enjoy it. I want you to have fun with it. Okay. Yes, you need to be showing up on the days, even when you don't feel like it. Maybe you're having a rough mental day, or, you know, something bad's going on in your life at work with the kids, whatever. Like, yeah, it might feel forced on those days, but on a regular day, I want you to just friggin' love your life and love what you have to share. And I know that that comes from obviously taking care of ourselves first. Okay. So if you really struggle with sharing on social media, I've said this like 12,000 times, but I'm going to say it again. Sit down, write out a list of the things that you love and post about that. Post about that stuff. I like to think with my stories too. I know a lot of people get caught up. They're like, I don't know what to post on my stories. I'm like, listen, if something happened throughout your day and it's something like funny or crazy or you know, I can't believe this happened to me. Like if it's something that you would text your best friend or your mom about, share that on your stories. Yeah. Your stories, your Instagram stories are your new best friends. The people that watch you on there are your best friends. They come to your profile because they like who you are as a person. Yeah. So I want you guys to get excited about showing up on Instagram. And I know that as, you know, a new coach or maybe somebody who just really struggles with what other people think about them, all of those things that can be worked on, right? You might have a hard time showing up still. But I think that if you really take the time to start sharing what you love, then it'll become a lot easier. Yeah. Don't ever feel like you're sharing too much about it. Like your people will love you for it. Okay. And then that's when social media really starts to get fun because you found your people and they're engaging with you and they're having conversations with you. They're starting conversations in your Insta stories. You know, I'm constantly posting about like music and stuff, and I'll get DMs several a day, a week, like, oh my God, I love this song. I saw this person in concert and blah, blah, blah. Or when I share, you know, my clothes, because I love clothes, you know, they're constantly like, oh my God, where'd you get that? Or I've been looking for that. Like, and it just makes conversation flow so naturally. And I never even have brought up anything health or fitness. But then once we have that connection, we have that conversation, then I can just easily be like, dude, what the hell, Cassie? Is that pancakes? I don't know why that just caught my eye. Share pancakes if you love pancakes, okay? So where was I at? God damn it. But so people connect with me about like music or whatever. And then I'm just like, literally, we've gone back and forth like twice. I'm just like, dude, you love music too. You should join my boot camp because we would be awesome friends. Like that is straight up how I invite half the time because we've connected over something else outside of Beachbody that I just know we would be good friends, honestly. And so then it's so easy to just throw that invite out there. Okay. So that kind of brings me into my next point. Sorry, I'm trying to scoop my chair up. How to make invites / connections more fun. And if you're a new coach and you haven't quite gone through like all of new coach training yet, you might be like, invite and connect, what? Don't worry, it's all explained more in depth in that stuff. So we'll get you on that. Okay. But inviting. One of the first training videos that I watched in the Beachbody Champions page that really helped me with this, it's a couple of years old now, maybe a year and a half. But Haley Christian, if you don't follow her, I really like her. But she did a training video and she called it Gangster Rap Connections. And she said, like, she talks about all the time how she's super introverted. She's not very outgoing, but you guys, she has a 6-figure business. So obviously that's not holding her back. Okay. But she said she'll legit sit down and like her system for tracking the people that she's talking to is pen and paper. She's a very simple girl. She's like, I just put on gangster rap that makes me feel like a badass and it gets me hyped and me pumped and I send my invites and like I make it fun. Okay. I do something very similar. You guys know that I am more country music. I play like whatever my favorite song is at that moment and I play it and it gets me feeling good. And it's just so easy to send those invites when you're just, I know it sounds kind of woo-woo and weird, but when you're vibing and you're feeling good, those invites are just going to flow. Like you're not even worried. You're just like on your phone. You're like, yeah, send, woo. Like maybe you're not a big music person like me. You might think that I'm crazy. That's okay. But like, I'm just sharing what works for me. Okay. So doing that, maybe like you need to take the time to go outside and send invites. Like, does the sunshine fuel you? Maybe if you have, you know, the option to like go to a local coffee shop and work, does that make you feel better up there? I know it does for me. Like if it's a full day of coaching for me and I'm not doing like a car detail or whatever, I will go up to the coffee shop. That just makes me feel like, you know, quote unquote boss babe, living the life. Like, and I'm just more flowy when I'm working in a space like that. So if you need to change up your environment, music that you're playing, maybe you need to do another shot of Energize before you send your invites, or like literally it takes some time for Energize to kick in. Chug that shit, sit down at your desk, pop out 10 invites and then go get your workout in. I've done that before. Or right when I get done with my workout is when I'm usually the most like fired up and confident and usually sassy. So that's a really good time that I either do rants on Instagram stories. I'm like, yo, get your shit together. Or that's when I'll send invites and follow-ups, because again, I'm just like I don't give an F attitude. So I'm just going to like send them and just like, okay, bye. I'll talk to you later. Because that's another thing that I do with my invites, you guys, especially if it's a day where I'm just like, I'm in my head and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I feel awkward. I feel weird. I just need to like recharge. That's not an excuse to not show up for my business. So I will give myself like the bare minimum on those days. And I'll be like, okay, Lauren, 5 invites. That's all you got to do. You can get that done in less than 5 minutes. And I will bang, 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 pop out 5 invites and like exit out of Instagram. I'm not going to respond to the people if they respond back until like later or tomorrow when I'm in a better headspace. Okay. So figuring out little things like that can make the inviting process a lot less stressful if that is something that stresses you out. I will say that the perspective shift that I've had with it lately, honestly, I'm just like, oh, I need to send my invites today. Okay, give me 10 minutes and I'll be done. I used to sit and like stew over it and be like, oh my God, I have to do this. When am I going to fit in the time? But you guys, once you do it a couple times, like I just copy and paste my invites or my follow-ups and I send them, and it takes literally no effort. Like straight up, I do it while I'm sitting on the toilet sometimes. Like, did you want to know that? Probably not, but that's how simple it is. So simple. If you work another job, tell your boss, be like, I have to go pee. If you can sneak your phone in there, you can send out 5 invites while you're peeing and your coworkers will care. See, Liz knows what's up. Okay. That is how you take ownership for your business, and the fact that you are obsessed in such a positive way with what you do that you can get it done in no time and feel really friggin' good about it. Okay. And so another mindset shift that I've kind of had around my invites, because if you guys haven't caught on yet, everything that we do has to do with what's going on up here. Yes. And you can learn how to change the thought processes up here for the most part, right? So when I send invites, I used to kind of have this negative notion behind it, like, oh, I have to reach out to people. Like, what if they say this? What if nobody? But no, okay, I got rid of that. And if I'm having an off day and I'm like, okay, Lauren, here's the thing. There are women out there that are watching you that need you to check in with them right now. Because I know from experience that I've sent like 7 invites in a row and nobody they aren't responding to me, but I can see they're reading my messages. If bitch hasn't blocked me yet, I know that she's still watching because she wants something from me. So you bet your butt I'm going to keep checking in. That's my job. And when I do that, I've had so many women be like, thank you for not giving up on me. And maybe you haven't had that experience yet. So you're like, I don't get what that feels like. But maybe that means you need to send more invites and follow-ups. Yeah. The fortune is in the follow-up. I'm kind of getting off my topic here, going on another tangent. But the mindset shit that I've had is I'm just going out here to check in with some girlfriends and see if they need me or not. If they don't, they don't. Like, I can still go on with my life and work on bettering myself. And honestly, now they're just going to keep creeping and watching even more and be like, oh my God, Lauren keeps checking in with me, but I keep ignoring her and I'm just going to keep ghosting her. And like, it's something on their end. You can't tie emotions. You cannot. You just have to not give a flying F. You're just checking in with somebody. I can't tell you how many times I like text my best friends and like they forget to reply. Other people on Instagram are doing the same thing. So when my best friend doesn't text me back, I don't take it personally. I'm like, the next day, I'm like, yo, bitch, where you at? I just have that mentality about my invites on Instagram because that's literally what it is. If they don't like what you're doing, they will block you or unfollow you. And then you can bless and release and not have to worry about them anymore, But 9 times out of 10, they're just ghosting you because they're scared. They're more scared than you are. That's why they're creeping you and not DMing you and not liking your posts and not responding to your call to actions when you invite to a boot camp, because they are scared. Okay? But you need to know that you showing up for them with that follow-up shows that you care. Because if you send like the first initial invite and they say no or they ignore you and you never check in again to them, You were just coming to them for a sale. They didn't want it, so you've forgotten about them. Sending a follow-up, sending 7 follow-ups in my case, like I do most of the time, shows that you care about them as a person and they are not just shoving them to the side because they didn't say no the first time. You still want to show up for them and help them. Okay? So having that kind of that mindset shift when you're sending the invites of like, I am here to serve people. And if they don't want it, fabulous. It's working for me, so I'm going to keep doing my thing. Okay? Now, connections. This is kind of, we're talking about growing our Instagram, and I do the 5-3-1 method. I go and I look for other Laurens. Like, again, it's social media. You just want to find people that you vibe with. And again, I used to kind of have this like, oh, I need to go like follow people and, hopefully they'll follow me back. And I got rid of that. And I'm like, no, I'm going out to make friends. I want to find people that wear the clothes that I wear, that listen to the music I listen to, that love cats and dogs and love America and like all these things that I love. Yeah, I just want to go find people that like that stuff too. And maybe half of them won't ever sign up with a boot camp with me. Okay, guess what? I still made some of my best friends. Like, you guys, there's a girl that I found on Instagram the other day, and I don't even remember what I messaged her, just something random like, oh my God, I love your shirt. Like, where do you get it? Whatever. And like, she replied back, and I could tell she had like my sense of humor right off the bat. So I sent back, like, if you're in your DMs, I don't know if you can reply with like a story to that one person. And so I did that. And she replied back with the story, and she like does the same weird ass shit that I do, like zooming in on your face and being awkward. And I legit just like laughed out loud because it's like, dude, we are best friends and we just met. And like, that is what feels really good. And again, maybe you're like, I haven't found that yet because you haven't taken enough time to do it. You aren't being patient enough. You're not being consistent enough. I'm just going to drop that out there. Okay. So changing the way that you approach the things in the business. And if you need music behind it or energize or getting outside or going to a coffee shop, whatever you got to do to change the energy that you are creating, because you create the energy, okay? Those dance parties that I do in the morning with my Energize is not to humor people on Instagram. It is legit to create energy, to get myself positive thinking to go into a workout. And sometimes I do that before I send my invites if I'm having a rough day, okay? So now kind of last thing here, in terms of, I talked about thinking about things that you love about the business, okay? And for me, it's like my boot camps. Like, that is my heart and soul. That is what fuels me. I love seeing my girls check in and hype each other up. And before I ever did team calls like this, like obviously this wasn't something that fueled me, but now it really does. I just want you guys to take initiative for yourself. If you see another coach doing something that's not even on our team, but you like it, create that for yourself. Team up with some other girls on the team. If you've got your own boot campers, have them do dance party challenges with you or water chug, see a chug set. Like, if you just see that stuff from watching other coaches and you want that, and I'm not doing it for you or your upline's not doing it for you, take initiative and create it yourself. Like this September mentorship that I've been talking about on Instagram, which I do need to update all of you on because you're part of it too if you want to be. Like, no one gave me the tools for that. My upline, when I signed up as a coach, didn't really give me much guidance. She's always there if I need her. I love her to death. But like the trainings and the stuff that I've created, I wasn't handed that when I signed up. I just saw other coaches doing it and I took initiative to create it for myself. Is it perfect? Is it, the most put together and organized? Absolutely not. It's simple because that's who I am. But again, that's something that I saw and I was like, I want that for my team. I'm going to create it. And that kind of creation stuff is something that I enjoy. And so I just took action to create what I wanted. Okay. And so that's just what I want you to be able to do for yourself. If there's something about this business that you see anybody else doing and you think that that interests you, that that would excite you, go do it. Don't wait for me to do it. Y'all know how disorganized I can be sometimes. And like, it's not just me that's a leader here. You're all leaders. You all have different talents, all different strengths. And that's why we work together well. So I want you guys to get more comfortable with like creating whatever you want to create, whatever is going to make you feel good, you know? So that, and then referring back to the first question I asked you guys, you know, when I talked about, you know, do you ever have days with coaching, you know, where you're like, is this for me? Am I cut out for this? All that good stuff. Okay. Not good stuff. That's bad stuff, right? So we all have those thoughts. And I will tell you what really helps me tackle all of that is every single day, pretty much, I am listening to some sort of business development. And what I mean by that is other training videos, team calls, YouTube videos from other coaches in the network. Because I feel most connected and centered when I hear other coaches, wow, I can't talk, coaches share their successes and their stories. And I imagine it could do the same thing for you guys. Because think about it, like, have you ever been having a crappy day or a crappy week and then you get on this team call and you're like, yeah, I can do the things. I do that every single day. Literally, I get on YouTube and I have like a handful of coaches that I follow their YouTube channel and they're uploading stuff pretty frequently. Or I get in the Beachbody Champions page where there's constantly new videos and I listen to that stuff and I just like, I take it all in. That has been a big game changer for me in terms of believing in myself, believing in the business, believing in my potential in this business, what it can do for me, what it can do for others. And you know what? That's where I get a lot of my ideas, what I share with you guys. That's how I get a lot of the ideas for the topics that I talk about on team calls. I don't just pull this stuff out of thin air. It's stuff that I've learned from other places and it resonates with me. And so I want to pay it forward and give it off to you guys. So you could do the same thing, right? Constantly be seeking growth and knowledge and education and all that good stuff. And as you learn to embrace the growth, okay, like it's not all necessarily a challenge. Like I said, some of it's still fun and it can still fire you up, fuel you, make you feel good. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to end that there. I see there's some stuff in the chat. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in there now. And then I'll answer those. Jessica said, that's how I found you, Lauren. I think I saw she dropped that comment when I was talking about like just sharing who you are on social media. And for me, it was music, and that's how me and Jess connected. And now she's a brand new coach. Woo-hoo. Lane's on here too. She's a brand new coach. And then Caitlin said, honest opinion about collagen, thinking of doing product tests. I'm actually glad you asked that question because number one, I wanted to ask you guys, make sure that you listen to the National Wake Up Call from yesterday. If you haven't, go find the recording. It's on the Team Beachbody 411 page. Josh Spencer, who is a male coach in the business, he's badass. I love him. He talks about the importance of at least trying our products, seeing if they work for you, if you like them, sharing about them honestly. Like if you try one and you don't like it, don't try and tell your people to use it. Like if you don't like it, okay? But using the different products, trying them out, because when you get your customers to love the product as much as you do, like every single month, I've got my Shakeology and my Energize on Home Direct. And to answer your question, I'm probably now going to have collagen on Home Direct, and I'll give you my review here in a second. But if you can get your customers to have that same stuff, that's how you build team volume. And that is where a consistent passive income is going to come from, when you have your people that have fallen in love with the products, okay? So honest review on collagen. I bought it at Summit just because it was a new product. Again, I want to just try it out, test it out for myself, see what I thought. I'd been seeing other Instagram accounts, like not just Beachbody coaches, but other, health and wellness ones, talking about collagen and the benefits of it. Like not the Beachbody one, but just collagen in general, because there's a bunch of different ones you can buy out there. And it was never anything that I was like, I would like to try that. Like, I'm just not a girl that cares about the growth of my nails. My hair grows really well as it is. Skin, it's like, okay, I get some zits, whatever. Because collagen, if you don't know, is for hair, skin, and nails, basically. Okay. So it's never anything that I was like, I want to try that. Like, no, I don't care. But being a coach, I wanted to try it out since we had it. And I was very impressed by the price. I think it's a lot cheaper than some other collagens that I've seen out there, which really blew my mind. And when comparing it to other collagens are actually like way higher in calories, which is weird because it's like a protein. So of course it's going to have calories. But this is a very minimal one. So I really like that. All of that to say for the, about the past month, I've been using collagen. I'm not going to say my hair has grown longer per se, but I do feel like when I let it go natural now, like I like it. I used to be like, I constantly had to straighten it. And now I'm just like, no, it looks good. Let it go. Skin, I do feel like is actually a little bit like I always, every so often have 1 or 2 breakouts. I haven't really seen one of those in a while. And nails, I do feel like they are growing faster because I get fake nails and, you can see the grow out. I feel like it's happening way quicker than what it used to. So I'm like, oh, great. I get to get manicures more often. Anyway, we're about to expire on time here. I want to make sure that I want my phone turned on. Hey, picture. I don't see any other questions in there. So, okay, everybody smile, look your prettiest. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I will up that load on Instagram. This call will be recorded and posted in the team page for some of you new coaches. I'll make sure you get added in the team page because I know we're still working through all that. So thanks for getting on, you guys. Have a good rest of your night. Happy Tuesday. I love you. Bye.